Окей, следва Agile развитие на игри за Game Jams от Колорадо Старк. Аплодисменти за Колорадо Старк!
Okay, we had some technical difficulties. So, my presentation today is specifically related to game jams. Not about how to make games specifically, but how to use agile development in a game jam. About me, I'm the founder of Repulse. We're a virtual reality game development studio in Plovdiv. And I also teach a course at Plovdiv University in game programming. So, in a traditional project, the way that you organize is you find a manager, and he's going to lead, and he's going to tell everyone what to do. You go clean up the body, and you clean up the blood from the floor, and you make sure the police aren't looking, and you do this. If you're going to make a game, you have to find out what all the requirements are. First, you figure out everything that you're going to put in the project. And then you make a detailed game design document where you write down everything that you're going to do and how you're going to do it. And then you do it. After that, you test it and you fix the bugs. And this is known as waterfall development. You could see on the chart here that it sort of goes like the requirements, the design, the implementation. That's a traditional design waterfall. So if you were going to do this in a game jam, if we were going to do this, we would need someone who knows everything and who tells everyone what to do. We could maybe put our requirements as the first part of the waterfall, maybe around 2 hours we'll spend to figure out what we're going to do. And then around 2 hours to figure out, okay, how we're going to do it. All right, so you're going to make like the photon, laser cannon, and you're going to make like the thing that chops the heads off. Okay, and then we test it, and then we ship it, and we kind of divide the 48 hours into that schedule. Well, we think, actually, I'm convinced that if we do that our product is going to absolutely suck. So, let's fix the first problem. Fire the boss. Okay, no manager, all right? So, this team is going to self-organize, and instead of a boss telling the team, you do this, you do this, you do this, the boss is going to do nothing, and the team's going to tell the boss, we can do this. So just to look at this from an organizational standpoint, in a typical team, the boss leads everything. In an agile team, it's like the Knights of the Round Table. They're self-organizing. Now, there is a role which is like a servant leader. I'll get into that in a second, but I'll tell you why the top-down approach doesn't work. The biggest risk in any project, I've been developing software for 20 years, no matter what, you give people a bunch of requirements, they say yes, 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 and they're not listening, they don't understand each other, they don't understand what you meant. It's the biggest risk in any project. The risk is that we all think we're in agreement. See the picture? We're all in agreement then, but one guy's seeing this, the other guy's seeing that, and the other guy's seeing this. So you get everyone to start talking about it, and they realize, oh, none of us are thinking the same thing at all. We're all thinking something completely different. So the team discusses it, and what they do is they realize, well, actually, it's a little bit of what you're saying and a little bit of what you're saying, and we'll kind of put it together, and then eventually the team actually understands. But they only understand this if they're self-organizing. They don't understand that under a boss. So instead of a leader that tells them what to do, the leader is just making sure that they're following the agile process. And at an agile team, this leader is called the Scrum Master. Now, what the Scrum Master's job is first of all, to remove impediments. Anything blocking the team, if there's a cable that needs to be connected, if there's a course that someone needs to take so they learn something, whatever is preventing the team from progressing, just to remove that impediment. The other role is to facilitate the meetings, just to get everyone talking and to get everyone communicating. So the team will self-organize to deliver what's known as a user story. So a user story basically is quite simple. It's just as a whatever role, I would like a something so that I can do something. That's the only requirement that is needed. An example, as a player, I'd like a stupid-looking, annoying enemy that laughs at me when my shots miss him, so I really want to kill him. A good story doesn't explain what needs to be done. It doesn't say who's going to do it, but it encourages the team to discuss it and to self-organize and to figure out how to deliver what's in that story in the best way possible. There is one other role. It's kind of like a leader in an agile team, and that's the product owner. So what the product owner does is he analyzes the feedback from the testing, and he prioritizes. The team comes up with 50 stories. I want a double plasma cannon. I want this, and I want that. And the role of the product owner is that he can say, okay, I think this is the most valuable one based on the feedback and this. And he just prioritizes the user story. And he has the authority, if the team overruns, to cut some of the scope and say, well, this story's not going to be in and this one's not going to be in. So for this one, I'm acting as the product owner of this. And the general requirement is just this. We're going to make a 3D game. We're going to use Unreal Engine. I think whatever engine you use in the game jam is good as long as you're comfortable with it. We like Unreal. It's going to be made with simplistic low poly models, and it should be about the game jam theme, whatever that is, and we want to build it for Android. That's the team structure. Now, to get back to the delivery methodology, the second biggest risk is that I'm actually completely convinced that if I did something as simple as making an HTML web page and I said, okay, let me get someone else and he's going to make one half the page and I'm going to make the other half the page and then we're going to put it together in the end. That's quite simpler than making a game, but whatever we do, something's going to conflict, something's not going to work. When we put the pieces together, they're not going to work. That's the next biggest risk in a software development project. So the idea is, instead of building, like if we're building a car, first we'll build the wheels, and then we'll build the chassis, and then we'll put the body on, and then we'll do this. Let's just look at it this way. We want to get from point A to point B. What will get us there faster? Well, actually, a skateboard will be a little bit better than my, than my feet, and maybe a scooter a little bit faster. So instead of building the pieces and putting it together, you build something that's end-to-end so you could see everything. You understand the terrain, you understand the challenges, you understand what you're trying to do, and then you improve on it. So in an agile schedule, we're actually still doing the waterfall style, but instead of taking the whole time to do it once, we're going to split it into sprints. Our goal is to do 5 sprints. So basically, we will do everything. We'll make the plan, we'll say what we're going to do, we'll do it, and we'll finish the game in a 4-hour sprint. It's going to suck. It's not going to be what we want, but we're going to figure out why it sucks, and we're going to make it better in the next 4-hour sprint. And we're going to do that 5 times, and when we get to the end, I don't know if it'll be good, but it's going to suck less than if we only did it once. I'm sure of that. The other idea is in each one of these sprints, you deliver working software. It's early delivery, rapid iterations, and continuous improvement. So applying to a game jam, we spend the first 4 hours to finish a working game with all features, figure out why it sucks, and then we do 4 more sprints to make it better and better and better. And as I said, it might still suck, but it'll be better than it would have been the other way. About the sprints. When you're doing an agile sprint, the team has to commit that at the end of this sprint, there is going to be working software no matter what. The team commits what they can do, not the leader. The boss doesn't say, you guys can do this. The team says, we can do it. The sprints are time boxed. The other thing is that the sprints are protected. This is very important. In a lot of environments, you got someone who's the manager, and basically he says, I need you to make something that does something. And you start doing it, and when you're halfway done, he says, hey, I got a better idea. I just went to this, conference, and they told me I should do something that does something. Why don't you do that? And you're like, well, I still didn't finish this. And they keep overloading the guy. So the idea behind a sprint is that once the team commits, they're protected. No one can throw anything else in. They're just going to deliver that. The other idea is that you have a potentially being the operative word, a potentially releasable product at the end of each sprint. So again, you want to make a sports car, you don't really want to release a skateboard, but you have something that you could release. So if you look at the risk chart, you do a standard waterfall development, which is like, we're just going to do this product instead of in iterations. And basically, if the red line is your risk, and the blue line is your value delivery, with every minute that passes, your risk goes up and up. And the idea is you deliver something huge of value at the end, which you might not be able to do. Whereas in an agile project, your risk goes down as time goes by. And you have a working product the whole time. It's like if you're not doing agile, basically what you're saying is maybe I'll deliver something at some date in the future and maybe I'll be late and you've got nothing, right? But if you're agile, you say, look, you got something now. You can release it. You can sell this skateboard. It's not the Bentley that you want, but I'll probably have something better if you give me 2 weeks, and if you give me 4, I'll have something a little bit more. I believe that very few people in the IT industry have the ability to say what they can do, when they will do it, and then deliver on that promise. As a matter of fact, in my 20 years, it's so rare, I've almost never seen it. If you can constantly promise and then deliver completed working software that's of value every 2 weeks, you will earn the respect of your colleagues wherever you are, and you'll never be out of work, I believe. If you can organize a large team of programmers to do that, you'll be incredibly valuable, and you will rise straight to the top of any organization that you're in. And if you can make a game with thousands or millions of players, and you can also say, hey, we're going to have this feature and this feature on this day, and constantly deliver it, you'll win the respect of your fans. So it's important to be able to deliver. How big of a scope? Our plan is to deliver one feature. Most things that we did have completely sucked. They just weren't what we expected. They were just bad. When we place tested them, it was just like, whoa, what the fuck did we just build? But the only way we've ever made anything good was iterating on it, just refining and refining and refining. So for this reason, we're only going to do one feature. My closing comments, we're building for Android, and we hope some of you who are participating in the Game Jam will be willing to test during the process and give us some feedback on how we can make our game better. Thank you.